I think the kernel of wisdom that I'd like everybody to take away is the importance of having a team of advocates on your side. And what I would recommend is when you're contemplating divorce, wherever you are in your decision process, that you also think about working with a financial advisor and a legal representative, an attorney, and then also an emotional person to help balance the three pieces of that three-legged stool, because again, you're going to have challenges in each of those areas. And it's just really nice to have somebody that will be a trusted advisor. And we've used this expression earlier today, have your back. The other thing, and I'm going to give two, I'm a twofer, is that don't post. I mean, anything that you want to be saying, remember for your kids' sake that things that you post are really hard to take back. So even if you think your spouse is acting inappropriately or being a knucklehead, talk to a girlfriend, talk to somebody like Margo, but really avoid putting it out there, because you don't want your children to be finding that, even if it's a year, 5 years, 10 years down the line, because you still have to have a relationship with your spouse.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to hand it over to Nicole.
Okay, great, thanks. My kernel or key takeaway is put yourself first. That may sound selfish, and I know we've talked about having the team and collaborating, and I 100% agree with all that. But generally speaking, as women, we are raised and encouraged and even, dare I say, programmed to put everyone else's needs ahead of our own. And while you're going through a divorce, first of all, you want to make sure you're making thoughtful and educated decisions, because this is going to impact you for the rest of your life, and there is no do-over. And if you do have children, you need to take care of yourself so that you can be strong and be a resource and still be able to support them ongoing, both through the divorce and ongoing. So while it might seem a little callous at first, I wanted to couch it in that, because you can only be as strong and be there for others as you are for yourself. Margo, you want to go next?
Yeah. I would say, listen, in my experience, when you're going through a divorce, it provokes a feeling of vulnerability. And when you feel vulnerable, you tend to feel more helpless. I guess what I want to say to you is, while that is a normal reaction to the undoing of a marriage, don't go it alone. Surround yourself with a tribe that will support you. Friends, family, financial advisors, your lawyer. You can reach out to me. You can reach me at margotirado.com. If I'm not the right person for you, I'll get you to somebody that can be that team on that team. This whole team has numerous resources that can surround you during this difficult time and support you so that you can move from feeling vulnerable and perhaps helpless to feeling strong and stable and grounded and empowered.
I think the kernel of wisdom that I want to share is one that came from Margo, and it's understanding and accepting that you and your spouse might be on two different timelines for the divorce. I think it's really a critical threshold issue that often goes unspoken in divorces, but because it goes unspoken, really impedes progress all throughout. And if you are someone who you're aware that that's your dynamic, that one of you is on a different timeline, be open about it. Share it with your attorney, share it with your mental health professional to the extent you're working with a therapist, because I think the more that you bring that out, the more it helps bridge probably the primary gap we see as problem solvers, which is the emotions taking over the practical outcome. Your professionals can get you over the hump of the practical outcomes. That's what we do. We can't do that when the emotions get too big. And so acknowledging those at the outset, knowing where you are in your track and working with your team on how to manage that, I think that really does unlock one of the really unspoken keys of how to move forward successfully and practically into that next phase of life.